Well, I was just going to say, I mean, the last year has been probably the hardest year we've had, simply because of the unknowns that everyone has faced through COVID. And I mean, we have a personal faith, and we just kind of do the best we can and leave it in God's hands. And we've always been provided for.
Last year was so hard because the rules were totally different. Even though we were allowed to stay open because we are considered the printing industry and we did a lot of work for the hospitals, we were, quote, essential business. But that didn't mean that our customers were open. I know that a lot of our photographers that we print photographs and stuff for, they lost their entire year of business within like 3 weeks. So therefore, if they're not photographing, we're not printing. So that was kind of a very hard thing to try to figure out. You know, I couldn't go back to my customers. I couldn't bring up some new business, get them going again, because they didn't have anything to do either. So last year was it was just an odd year because what you've had to do just totally changed. Sometimes you've got to cut out every single little bitty expense that is not necessary. That was a big one. Unfortunately, no new equipment purchases were part of that. And I've always had the philosophy, always, if every bit of possible, stay out of debt. Because the worst thing that could happen is we break even with nothing. At least I don't break even with nothing and then have another $30,000 in debt that I owe people.
Which we've had to, you know,
We've had to
borrow money for some of our larger equipment, and we might do that again in the future. It's not out of the question, but we do try to avoid it. Mm-hmm. And you need to always have something to fall on. And we don't know what the next COVID year might be. Something different might hit, and so you have to kind of be prepared as best you can.